Well, welcome to Silver Heist. We're really excited. We have a special guest today. He is known as a Director of Awesome, or DOA to some of you other folks. We want to talk to him as if he is applying for the job for the U.S. Mint Director. If an entrepreneur ran the U.S. Mint.
Oh,
So,
Lord. Thanks, Heist, for inviting me on. I appreciate it. As you eloquently said already, my name's DOA. My real name's John, but folks on the internet call me DOA. I've been an entrepreneur for essentially since I can remember. A licensed bullion dealer, licensed coin dealer, licensed card collector, investor, dabble in NFTs. I was an angel investor for many years. And I like working on fun projects to keep me entertained and the money flowing. And Heist, you asked me on the phone whether or not I would act like I wanted to take a job interview at the Mint and what I would do about it. And I said, hell yeah, give it to me, baby. So here we are. I appreciate everybody watching. This is probably not going to be a normal Heist video.
what was your first entrepreneurial activity?
Oh, Lord. I don't think it was entrepreneurship, to be honest, but I discovered the ability to equate hard work with making money. And so for the family and my dad, we're big restaurateurs. And
Did your family have a family restaurant? Did you work in a family restaurant?
yeah, I started working in the family restaurant. My uncle had a big restaurant and I started washing dishes. I remember my dad dropping me off in the driveway and he says, remember this, son, if you do right by somebody, they might tell 3 people. If you do wrong by somebody, they're going to fucking tell 10.
Right.
And that stuck with me, that
Yeah.
you can do right over and over and over again, and most people keep it quiet. You screw somebody over or you do something wrong, and it's just human nature to run with it like the wind. And that's how I started my first hourly job. I had to stand on milk crates to grab the dish rack, and I got to tell you, well, nobody likes to do that sort of stuff. I think that was one of the most invigorating jobs I ever had. It was like constant pressure. It was disgusting. People were screaming and yelling all the time. I was like, not that I'm a whole lot taller these days, but I was something like 5 foot tall, and the dish rack was like 7 feet in the air. It was always a challenge. It was always fun. Um, but most importantly, it taught me a lesson. Since day one, I learned about hard work.
What are your favorite coins? Do you like designs? Do you like rare coins or something else?
Okay, so I have a few. I love biblical coins, um, because again, politics and religion, two things you don't talk about at dinner or on the internet. So I'll leave it at I'm not a very religious person, but I love what religion has the power to do. And so I love biblical era coins, just as a personal thing. Growing up in the New Orleans area, we had the New Orleans Mint, and you used to be able to go and play in the damn thing. So when it comes to modern, I guess, sort of semi-modern coins, I love anything produced by the New Orleans Mint.
What is
I,
that? Is it just Morgans or other things? What
they
did they make?
produced all kinds of things. My personal collection is of Morgans, so
Yeah.
my personal collection is of Morgans, and it's just because I grew up here and sort of fun to think we used to ride bikes through the place before it was a museum and stuff like that. Third would be shipwrecks. I love the idea of shipwreck coins. I like gold because it is obviously of higher value, but there's sort of this prestige that goes with it, I guess. Makes you feel good that you've got a solid investment or a real nice, valuable piece.
So what do you think the mint is doing good?
They're profitable. I
Okay.
mean, I'm going to answer this from an entrepreneurial perspective. This has
Yeah.
nothing to do with my passion for coins. I'm an entrepreneur that happens to like coins. Um, they're profitable. So it is the only bureau of the government that is self-sustainable and doesn't take tax dollars. People don't realize that. And I'll say why that's, I think, important. I think that's important because I have done it. We have all done it. When you go onto the Mint and you can't get something, you're like, I pay for this. This is the US Mint. My tax dollars go to this. It's not really true. I'm sure tax money has been funneled to it at some point, but it is currently the only profitable bureau. And I think self-sustaining and profitability from an entrepreneurial perspective, I think that deserves an honor. So that's my win for them, is that they are sustainably profitable.
What is the U.S. Mint doing wrong?
Everything. Uh, so, I mean, there's a few different ways to look at it. The mint is responsible for things like the circulation of coins, okay, but they're not in charge of circulation of bills. Like paper money is for the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. The Department of Treasury exclusively manages the bureau, which is the U.S. Mint, and that handles coinage for commerce. I think there's something like $400 billion in change floating around the world. And they're responsible for like managing the flow of bullion. That's what the Mint does, along with in partnership with the U.S. Treasury. A lot of people don't understand how important they actually are. They don't just punch pennies. That said, I think what they're doing wrong is pretty significant in multiple places. One, for a bureau of the government, they are certainly not transparent. For an American-based company that serves the American public to whatever degree they deserve it, their communication sucks. And to live in one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world with access to almost anything, especially through its relationship with the U.S. government, to have a goddamn website that doesn't work is also beyond me. I think you have a variety of things that are being done wrong. But you know, in truth, when you think about the everyday Joe, people who don't deal with coins, people who don't, you know, spend 3 hours hitting refresh on the computer to buy the new, you know, reverse proof, they don't see any issue at all. Maybe they do with, you know, coin shortage, but you know, I think as dealers and as collectors and as lovers of precious metals or stackers, whatever genre you're in, I think it becomes innately painful, and we circle ourselves around other people who are also pissed off at it, and so it can amplify it. But I think transparency, technology, and access with communication are probably the biggest deficiencies for the Mint.
So what are your thoughts on low mintage versus everyone gets a coin? What would grow the hobby better?
Well, I mean, the truth is that it's not the Mint's job to grow the hobby. I mean, if the Mint's job was to make sure everybody had a coin, then nothing would be valuable. You know, think about it like that. Scarcity creates demand. Now, I also want to be clear that, you know, when they're producing American gold eagles and they're producing American silver eagles and they're producing commemoratives, they're producing for-profit bullion. That has nothing to do with stamping a quarter or making a nickel. Okay. Yeah. That's profit center for them. That's pushing bullion. So they have zero obligation technically. I mean, I'm not defending them by any measure because I'm just as pissed off as anybody else sitting there all day doing this. And I got some war stories just from this week from the U.S. Mint. But their job is not to put a coin in everybody's hand. And their job is not to artificially create demand. Their job is to operate profitably. And I'm sure there's some, you know, chess player somewhere buried in a cubicle who's helping them make decisions like the V75, the V75 privy. You know, somebody decided that they were going to stamp a V75 on a coin. They were going to charge 4 times as much money, and they were only going to make 1,975 of them. By definition, from a business perspective, it's a cute idea. It's cute.
Yeah.
But that's honestly, that's in its respect. It's paying homage and respect to our troops.
Sure.
And there's no throwing that down the drain, but it's a cute idea. What happened? They were selling coin, you know, the V75 for $900. 5 days later, not the Mint, secondary market was selling these things for $800-900. So I think there's always room for stuff like that. When you talk about mintage and production of bullion or commemoratives or coinage in general, I think that if they got their shit together and focused on a handful of things rather than pumping out 10 new designs every week or every month. What is it, like 3 or 4 on average every month? It's like weekly they try to come up with something new. I think that's sort of incestuous. It's sort of like cannibalizing the value that some of those items could actually bring. When
Yeah.
you spend 3 hours chasing down a reverse proof, and then you pay $600 for a $28 coin, you really don't want to go back next week and do the same thing over again.
Well,
It's
there's like
it,
5 Morgans. There's like 5 2021 Morgans or 6.
oh yeah, well, and then they like they do in the Privy with the CC and the New Orleans Mint.
Right.
And who the what's the point in the what? Why is a mint mark there? A mint mark is to trace which facility made the coin.
Yeah.
So if Philadelphia and West Point are stamping O's and CC's, what's the point?
Are
It
you
just
getting one? Are you
no,
getting a no?
no. I don't believe in it because, like I said, I just explained why. I'm a purist.
Yeah.
If it's easy to stamp CC on it, then all the real Carson cities are worthless. Really? What good is a coin manufactured in Philadelphia just because it says CC? How the hell does it make it a Carson city?
Hottest coin of the year.
Great. Great.
I'm afraid they're gonna go to the well and make 2022s and make it a regular thing. Make people jump to the hoop for 6 different Morgans every year.
Well, what?
I don't
Why
know.
wouldn't they? But that's so it's like the card collecting space. Panini produces a box of baseball cards. It costs them $30. They sell it for $200. On the secondary market, it's $1,100. Why would Panini not just raise the rates? It's a self-licking ice cream cone. And we do it to ourselves. We let this FOMO stuff get to us, this fear of missing out. Let me put it in perspective for you, Heist. V75 was selling for $700, $800, $900 for 2 months after it came out.
Yeah.
And once they got graded, it was beyond that. Then about 6 months in, you could get them for $500. Today, you can pick them up for $325, $350. I think I've got 4 in my drawer. In the junk drawer, I think there's like 4 of them floating around. Again, I'm not beating them up. And I'm not beating up those guys who stood in line or are standing in line or who have overpaid for it. I just think that exercise of a little self-control on both sides of the fence will balance things out a little quickly. And again, this isn't me talking as a coin guy. This is me talking as a businessman.
Right. Sure.
What it doesn't do, if I produce something so short and so expensive that it pisses everybody off to get it, as the director of the mint, I'm actually just burning my customers. Like they're losing a taste for doing business with me as the mint.
Right.
And if every coin I produce is so short that they go through the roof, then I'm mismanaging our own brand value as an asset manager. The brand matters, and I think the mint has a good opportunity to manage that brand.
There's kind of the problem of maybe too many things being exclusive, but the bigger problem is that people don't think they had a fair shot at it.
Let me tell you this. Fuck fair. Okay? Fair is nothing but a made up word. What is fair when it comes to work, when it comes to money, when it comes to life, when it comes to the mint, when it comes to coins? Nothing is fair. Nothing is fair. I didn't want the orange Lamborghini. I wanted the yellow one. It's not fair. Why didn't they ship yellow ones down south? That's not fair. I mean, when you accept the term fair, I think it's a gigantic problem. Just innately, it's a huge problem to even think that's viable. Fairness does not truly exist. And it's annoying. It's frustrating. It's a waste of time. I mean, I just ordered I don't even remember what it was. What came out this week, Heist? Was it the reverse proof?
There's that 2-set reverse proof.
I don't know. Something came out this week,
Okay.
and I ordered it.
Yep.
And then I put it up for sale on eBay. I got like 3 or 4 copies of it.
Great.
I didn't, but family and friends
Sure.
who all want to make a couple of bucks from me They all get it for me and ship it to my house, right? So I got 3 or 4 of them. I put them up for pre-sale. I still haven't gotten the things. In fact, I had 3 out of the 4 eBay orders cancel the pre-order because they have not arrived. Meanwhile, my neighbor got his 3 days in.
Yeah.
I live across the street. Mine still says processing. That's
Right.
part of that's transparent. That's not fair, Heist. It's not
Right.
fair. I was there day one. I did the same shit as everybody else. I
Right.
paid the same money. I
Yep.
wasted my time and I don't have my coin. That's unfair. But
I know.
that gets me nowhere. So you got yours?
I have a tracking number for
Fuck you.
the
That's not fair.
coin
Fuck you.
reverse.
That's not fair, Heist. No, that's not fair. I need you to send me your coin. Look, what's not fair is to the guy who also pre-ordered it, right?
Yeah.
He pre-ordered it. I sold it for like 375 or something.
Right.
And it's now been 14, 15 days. You can now buy one from somebody in hand for 330.
Sure.
Why would he want to wait? Even if he committed to it and he agreed and he prepaid, why would he want to wait when he could cancel the order, write me a nasty review, and go pick it up for $60 cheaper because somebody else has it in hand? And that person, you want to see what's not fair, that person who put it on their credit card and shouldn't have now has to dump the coin for cheap. And because they're dumping it for cheap and they got lucky because it's not fair, they got the coin early. So to pay their credit card bill before it maxes out, they dump the thing for cheaper than anybody else. What does that do? It creates a landslide. Now everybody was getting $400 last week. Now everybody's getting $350. And the week after that, it's $325. And pretty soon it's over. Now I can tell you what the result is as a businessman. I will not be ordering from the US Mint with any type of faith or trust. I will not spend another $800 on mint purchases expecting to flip it because I know factually to me, unfairly, they may not send it to me for weeks. But the reality is, and again, I'm not arguing for them. I'm in the middle of living that mint hell myself. But the reality is, if you operate to be fair, it will be disastrous. It will destroy it. You can't be fair is a moving target. Honestly, it moves. Today it's fair, tomorrow it's not. Tomorrow it's fair, and today it's not. I mean, it's like it's a constant moving target, and it's not fair that they released this on the 12th, right after my mortgage is due. Okay.
Sure.
Well, what
Yeah.
about the guy whose mortgage is due on the 23rd? It's not fair
Right.
to him. Fair is, I don't think that's the issue. I think transparency and communication is the issue. You know what I think they should do? I think they should slowly release the coins through the month versus one day. That's what I think they should do. I think that's what they do. That way they can control the flow. They don't take people's money. If you take somebody's money knowing that you're not able to deliver it, that's fraud. And they took my money knowing that the item was on back order. They sold more coins than they knew they could get delivered in a certain set time. That is fraud. You want to break it down. You think they'll ever get charged with it? No. I think that we're gluttonous. I think we operate on FOMO. I think the speed of information that's disseminated today all plays a role into that. Now, the biggest downfall from a business perspective is that if they fix this stuff, they would probably double or triple their profits. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of leeway that we as a populace give these entities because we believe that we have no power. And honestly, in this particular case, I don't think we do. I don't think we have power.
Yeah.
So the only power that we have is to not buy junk. If people stopped buying the junk, they would focus on the not so junky junk. And if they improved their communication and transparency, I think people wouldn't feel that it was a fairness issue. They would be able to focus their time and energy where they wanted. So if I knew that there's 3 coins coming up in the next 3 months in the middle of my workday, if I believe in that item, if I believe in what it represents, if I need that coin, if I want that coin to further my collection, to further my enjoyment, to further my stack, or whatever the hell you want to call it, to put inventory in my pocket, then I got to stop and do what it takes to go get that coin. The problem is when you release 3 things a day, it's all becomes a blur,
Right.
you know, and that's, I think, bad business. And, you know, with a new mint director coming in, fingers crossed. Let's hope they can pick up the torch and run with it in the right way, make our lives a little easier, make the industry a little more enjoyable. You know, if
Great.
anybody's got any questions, they can feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll see if we can catch up with them. But other than that, man, I appreciate you inviting me on. I enjoyed the conversation.
I did too, and I really hope the Mint picks up a Mint Director of Awesomeness.
You did it. You strung it all together. I love it. DOA.
All right, DOA, I appreciate your time.
All right, my brother.
Thank you for joining me tonight.
Keep it up. Keep kicking butt on that channel, brother. Love the content. Everybody who's watching, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate you guys. See you soon.